Hello and welcome. It's springtime, the perfect time to find seedlings growing in our yards and transplant them to a location where we want them to live and grow. Transplanting is a cheap and effective way to beautify, add shade, and increase your property value. By taking a seedling from your yard, you can be sure that the tree will do well in your given climate and soil type. Today I'll show you a quick and simple method that requires only a few basic tools. You'll need a pot for transporting the seedling, a spade or shovel, and a hose. If your hose won't reach, use a large container to transport the water. You can get the job done with those few items, but to ensure success, there are some additional precautions involving landscape fabric and grow tubes. If you happen to have drain tile, it can be substituted for grow tubes, especially if the seedling is small. Scissors and a hacksaw are needed for cutting. Both spring and late summer are good times to check your lawn for the appearance of seedlings. Consider holding off the initial lawn cutting for an extra 2 or 3 weeks, and you'll be surprised by how many seedlings appear. Here's a black walnut I flagged late last summer, a horse chestnut, a sugar maple, what I think is a blue spruce, and various seedlings in the orchard. When you're not sure what type of tree it is, leave it alone for a few weeks until the leaves mature and you can match it to the parent tree, which is likely nearby. Transplant when it's not too hot and dry. Spring and fall, when conditions are cool and wet, are optimal. Avoid summer months. With your spade, dig a perimeter around the seedling, being careful that the shovel blade goes deep and straight down to avoid damaging the root system, especially the taproot. Loosen with the shovel, but try and remove it by hand, and if possible, reach underneath to feel that the taproot is freed up and will remove without breaking. Too much damage to the taproot and your tree will not survive. Set it in the pot for transport. It's best to transplant immediately, but if you cannot, give it a little drink and keep the soil moist. With any digging, make sure you won't be cutting any wires. Call the utility company for a survey if you're not sure. At the new location, dig a hole the same size, depth, and wall angle as the transplant bulb. Do a rough fit. Here my new hole is dug a bit too wide, so I'll fill it in a bit first. It's very important to not have air pockets. These prevent the roots from spreading and are unhealthy for the tree. Also, don't dig deeper and loosen up the soil below the transplanted bulb of earth. It's okay to loosen the soil around the sides so the roots can easily expand. I like to add water in the hole before dropping the seedling in. Again, it's to avoid air pockets. Position the seedling with the leaves oriented to the sun's passage. Because I dug too wide, I'll tuck the seedling tight to the side and then fill in the gap with earth and water while packing and mixing to avoid air pockets. Water it. And tamp down to remove air pockets. Remove excess grass that will be competition for resources. Water it about every 2 days, keeping in mind the Goldilocks rule. Not too dry and not too wet. So I'm back where we dug out the original sapling. Some water in the hole. Soften that up. Again, trying to keep out air pockets. I'll cut this one a little bit wide. Shrink it down a bit. Ideally, you don't have to do this step. You'd have a pretty good eye. Or a template. Apparently I have neither. So then, drop that in place. Give it some water. Tamp it down. There. Hole's filled in. None the wiser. These next steps may be considered optional, but they greatly increase your chance of success. Cut a square of landscape fabric. Hey, I wondered where those were. Cut a little slit for our new tree friend. Now to cut some of this perforated drainage tile. Now my sapling is probably about 8 inches, so I want to make sure that I'm coming below the top of the sapling. So I'm probably going to cut it all in this area. Watch your fingers. The fabric helps keep the weeds down, while the grow tube or corrugated tile protect it from animals. If it's crooked, tie it to a rod or piece of bamboo. But most practically, this step marks its location so you don't do this. But if you do, hey, why not use it as an opportunity to make a seedling transplant video? Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.